Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Tabooty. I'm here to talk to you today about some hypocritical tomfoolery that I heard in the news. Did you hear about the 11-year-old boy that lives in Florida who was arrested for refusing to recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Yeah. Well, let me tell you the story just in case you haven't heard, because it's not really being talked about a lot. Well, this student had a substitute teacher that day in class, and the teacher asked the student to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. And the student told the teacher that the flag is racist and the national anthem is offensive to black people. The teacher proceeded to say to him, if it was so bad here, why don't you go somewhere else? And the boy responds and says, I was brought here. And the teacher goes on to say, I'm from Cuba. And the day that I feel that I'm not welcome here, I'll find somewhere else to live. Can you believe that? Where do you expect this boy to go? He's a descendant, number one, of slaves. What country do you expect him to go to? And the difference is he was brought here. You came here. Well, it goes on. The teacher just basically got tired of him. She called the office. The school resource officer came to his classroom, and the boy apparently got upset. The resource officer, as he's taking him to the office, the boy starts saying that the teacher, the resource officer, the school is racist. Dig this. He was arrested. This 11-year-old boy was arrested and taken to juvenile detention. Can you believe that? And then he was charged with misdemeanor charges of causing a disruption and resisting arrest without violation. What the hell does that mean? Without violation. And of course, the school covers theirself and later says that the school had nothing to do with that. That was the decision that the school officer, the school resource officer made. Does the school resource officer trump the school district, the school in which he's working? Or should the school, in this case the principal, be making that decision? That's crap. But anyway, in the statement from the school, they said, we do not condone this old template crap. We do not condone the substitute's behavior. We respect all children's right to freedom of expression, and we are committed to protecting that critical right while ensuring peaceful classrooms so students can learn. Can you believe that? And the substitute teacher will no longer be able to work in that school district. So you saying the teacher is also at fault. So the teacher and an 11-year-old are both at fault for this. No, this is called cause and effect. And then the school district goes on to say that the teacher was not aware of the policy that students have the right to refuse to stand or recite the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm confused. So the school is not responsible for me being arrested. The child was arrested and taken to juvenile detention. Oh, but not because he wouldn't recite the Pledge of Allegiance, but because of his disruptive behavior. According to the police department, this arrest was based on the student's choice to disrupt the classroom, make threats, and resisting the officer's effort to leave the classroom. What? Also, it had been reported, I don't know if it was by his regular teacher, that prior to this incident, the young man hadn't stood up or recited the pledge all school year long. And of course, his mother was angry, and she said she really felt bad for her son. He's in gifted classes, and he had been bullied prior in the year. But she says she's very upset, and she holds the police and the school and the teacher accountable for this. And she wants all charges dropped. And the American Civil Liberties Union of Florida, they said a lot. But among that is that this child's rights were violated, and that this is a prime example of over-policing of black students in schools. This is outrageous. First of all, cause and effect. This child wasn't causing any problems, whether or not the substitute teacher knew the rights that students aren't required to cite the Pledge of Allegiance or stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. She was out of line. She's the adult. If he was sitting in his seat, he wasn't having a problem until you tried to force him to get up. Also, think about it. This is an 11-year-old child, and now also that the mom reported he had been bullied in school in the past. You think about it, all his classmates are sitting in this room and watching this teacher berate him. This is absolutely out of line. And first of all, why wouldn't the school, the principal, assistant principal, be making the decision whether or not this child would be arrested? This is just absolutely outrageous and unacceptable. But I haven't heard any additional information as far as an update is concerned. But this is absolutely ludicrous. So this child who's never had behavioral problems, who is in a gifted program, who was standing up for his rights. He's very smart, obviously. Very smart. Maybe something that's taught in the home about your rights. Whether you have to stand up for the pledge or honor the national anthem. He said it right. He was absolutely right. And I think that the school and the police should be definitely held accountable for this. But dig this, a contrast. I don't know if you saw, but also in February, actually a week after this incident with the 11-year-old boy, Trump Jr. attended a re-election campaign rally in El Paso, Texas with Trump. He was going there to kind of talk about and promote his proposal for the border wall. Trump Jr. said to the young people in the crowd, "You know what I love? I love seeing some young conservatives, because I know it's not easy. Keep up the good fight. Bring it to your schools. You don't have to be indoctrinated by these loser teachers." And baby, teachers were up in arms. They are trying to sell you on socialism. From birth, you don't have to do it. So he's telling students to be disruptive, white students, conservative students, to be disruptive in their school. Can you believe that? Now that's an absolute contradiction, and calling teachers losers, because they're teaching, and hopefully teachers are teaching children to be free thinkers. You're supposed to present all the information and let them and their parents decide on what information that they will choose to live by. But then in addition to this, just yesterday, Trump attended the conservative political something conference. And he brought up this young man. He's a conservative activist. And that this young man had been punched in the face at the University of California at Berkeley last month. He praised this young man for taking a punch for all of us. He talking about all of them. Can you believe that? And he said, he urged the young man to sue. He said, sue the person that punched you, sue the school, and sue the state of California. Can you believe that? Wait a minute. And then Trump goes on to say that he was going to sign, he announced that he's going to sign an executive order issuing schools to support free speech. And if they don't, he's going to not give them federal research dollars. You know, that's out of line. And first of all, maybe it's me, and I really don't know much about the Constitution, the amendment, none of that. But the First Amendment, which gave this little 11-year-old boy the right to choose to stand or sit, recite or not recite the Pledge of Allegiance, that right. The First Amendment is freedom of speech. But Trump says he is going to sign an executive order. You know, this is some deep racist crap. And you know what? I haven't heard Trump say anything about this young man's, young man's rights being violated. This is some racist ass crap. Oh, and also don't forget about Colin Kaepernick and Eric Rice, I think was his name, the other football player that chose to take one knee. This is unbelievable. Last thing I'm saying to everybody, get out there and vote. Register. Register. And if you were registered and you haven't voted in 2 years, you know your registration, at least in the state I'm in, has expired. Check with Turbo Vote online, turbo.org, or call your County Board of Elections. Make sure that you are registered. And if you've changed your address, update your address. But everybody needs to get out there to vote, because there's more to come. I mean, this is blatant racism. But it's up to all of us to make a choice to do something about it. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this young man being arrested and charged with this misdemeanor and a 3-day suspension from school for not wanting to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. They could say what they want, but the teacher was responsible for that. The school was responsible for that. It should have been dealt with in a totally different way. He should never have went or been arrested. The principal, first of all, should have called the teacher into the office and talked to her and the student to resolve the issue. the resource officer is supposed to be like a friend to all of the kids, so that when incidents do happen, they are better able to resolve the issue because of the rapport that they have established with all the students. Let me know what you think. Do you think this teacher should be the only one held responsible for this student being arrested? Do you think the resource officer in the school is responsible? Oh, I forgot to say something very important. You know what Trump told this young man who he said had got punched in the face? He said to the crowd, this young man is going to be wealthy one day. Can you believe that? From suing, so therefore, this little African-American child's parents should most definitely sue the police and the school district. Let me know what you think. Comment below. And please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a good one.